Welcome to yet another episode with Catherine, and this is the third episode of our project progress report series. So here we are going to style our authentication forms, and we are going to start with adding a Google font. So I did that in the background, and I'm just going to paste the Lato Google font link right here. So let us go in and write our CSS to register the font and continue to log it in the browser, and you can see our font has been registered. It has loaded and it's looking a bit better. So we're going to go and start with styling and navigation bar. We're just going to add a few Bootstrap classes and okay, we are going to add a text muted class right here for the current student sign out link, and we are going to add the same class in the current teacher sign out link right here, text muted. And let's go on and add it on our instructor login link, text muted. So we are going to style this as a button by adding a class of button secondary, and px3. So if we reload, you can see that our Bootstrap classes are active. So let's go on and just style the lower part of the welcome page, and we are going to do that in our home index. So right here, let's remove all the default text here and add a div with a Bootstrap class of py5. Then let's continue to close our div. So inside our div, we're going to add a div of class row. Let's go on and close it. So inside our div, let's add a Bootstrap class, a div with a Bootstrap class of call lg8, and then mx auto to center it in the middle. So let's go and close our div, and inside our created div, I chose to add okay, we're going to have an h2, a heading with a class of font weight bold, a border bottom, and let's add a padding bottom of 2, and add a title of project progress reports. And let's close our heading too. So below our heading, we're going to add a div and give it a class of margin top of 3. So let us first close our div, and inside let's add a text to tell our user to log into the progress reports. So let's save our file and load it in our browser. And so step 2, let's go on and style our sign up form. So in the registrations, the new file, we're going to first start by adding a div with a class of row and py5. Inside, let's add a div class with call lg4 and mx autumn. So let's close it right there. Let's add a section and give it a class of deflex, justify, content center, and a class of margin top 5 and a margin bottom 5. So inside our section, we're going to add a span of give it a class of text capitalize and text white in a BG of dark. And also we shall add a px of 2 and a py of 1 in the rounded class to make it give it a beautiful rounded edges. So it has close our span, and inside our span we're going to put a resource name, registration, and remove our labels, and in the field div add a margin top of 5. So our text field, we are going to add a placeholder of full name, a class of form control, a py2, and our next field, we're going to add a margin top of 3, remove our label, and add here a placeholder or our email field, and add some Bootstrap classes, a class of form control and py2. So our next item, we're going to add a margin top of 3, remove our label. We don't want them part of our design, so let's add a placeholder of password. Okay, password and give it a class of form control py2. Alright, so let's go on to the next field, and we're going to add a margin top of 3, placeholder of confirm password, and class of form control and py2. Okay, so for our submit button, we shall add a margin top of 4 and margin bottom of 5. Then our button, we're going to give it a class of button or form control py2 in the button class, in a button primary class, in a font weight of bold, yeah, then a shadow, shall give it a nice shadow on the button. And let's go into another page, and you can see it looks beautiful in our browser. Step 3, let's go on and style our login page. Okay, by default it just looks like this, and in our sessions, device sessions, new file, we're just going to override the top header and add a div of class row py5. Inside, let's add a div of class called lg4, call lg4, and then mx auto to center it in the middle of our page. So let us close our outer divs here. You just okay. Alright, close our outer div. So just inside here, we're going to add a section that is going to hold our resource name so that we can differentiate these login forms. So let's add a section, and inside our section, let us first give classes to our section, and we're going to give it a class of deflex, and justify content center. Okay, and we're going to give it a margin top bottom of 5. So inside our section, we're going to add a span, and let's give a span a class of text capitalize, either text white, it's either class of pg dark, and give it a class of pure, px2, py1, and a rounded border class. So inside our span, we are going to add our content, that's the resource name. login. Okay, so you can just say student login, instructor login, just like that. So inside our form, let's give a first element a margin tuple 5. Let's get rid of our label and our autofocus right here, and let's give it a placeholder of email in the class of form control and the py of 2. So our next element, let's first give this margin top of 3. Yeah, get rid of our label and add a placeholder of password. Okay, password. So let's go on and add classes to our password field. A class of form control in py2. So our next element is the remember field, Okay, let us first add a deflex and an align item center, justify content center in a margin top of 3, and let's give our label a class of margin left of 2, ms2. Yeah, in our button, or let's give it it's containing div, let's give it a margin top of 3, margin bottom of 5, and okay, our button, we're going to give it classes of button primary, form control, and py2, font weight of bold, and end with a next shadow class. So if we save and reload our page, you can see how beautiful it looks. Yeah, I think it looks good. In our instructor login, you can see it's just perfect. So step 4, let's style our forgot password page. It's quite a simple one. Here in our passwords, new is the file we're styling. So let us go on. Okay, add a div class of row py5, and inside we're going to have a div class of call lg4 in an mx auto. Okay, so let's go and enclose our divs. Yeah, just like that. So inside our div, let's add a H3 heading, give it a class of text center, margin bottom 4 and margin top of 5. And inside we're going to give it a text of forgot password. We're just asking. So in our field, email field, we shall first eliminate the autofocus and add a class of form control and py2. In our button div, we shall give it a margin top of 3 and a margin bottom of 5. Okay, this happened because I had a little bit of phrasing during my screen recordings, but I have tried to express it here and show the classes perfectly. So our button will have a class of form control, py2, a button primary, font weight of bold and a shadow. So you can see if we reload our page, it will just look just like that, as perfect as you see it, with minimal text and everything. So thank you.